25 grand in the first, second, and nail a bullseye! Come on, let's go! 1, 2.
The Wolf of Wall Street tells the history of a greedy guy who starts from scratch and found to get rich through illegal methods. The history of a good person who changes completely with money, cars, houses, chips, hookers, and lots of drugs. And guess what? It was all real. Jordan Belfort is not just a character played with genius by Leonardo DiCaprio. He is a person who went through all that we see in the film and survived to tell the story. During his time in jail, Jordan wrote the book The Wolf of Wall Street, his nickname in the days of Wall Street. As wrong as everything he did was, the contents of the book were a big deal for Hollywood. As if Jordan hadn't lived a completely out of ordinary life, he was informed that two people were disputing to buy the copyright to his story, Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. However attractive a proposal from Brad Pitt may seem, the story did not stay in his hands, which must be difficult since the subject of Wall Street is of a great interest to the actor. But so that he produced the great movie called The Big Short 2 years later. Jordan had no hesitation in accepting DiCaprio's proposal, perhaps because she had something else called Martin Scorsese. The director is known for portraying the lives of criminals with absurd mastery. But things didn't happen that fast. For 7 years they waited to make the film happen. The director was ready to direct the movie Silence, but the investment finally came through to make The Wolf of Wall Street, and Leonardo DiCaprio had to beg Scorsese to make this movie before he could have made the movie with another director. But since he is a very intelligent person, he decided to wait for Scorsese. Production started, and the casting couldn't have gone better. Martin is known for casting people who seem to really live in that reality. Nothing caricature, everything chosen very carefully. One of my favorite actors, Jonah Hill, was chosen to play Johnny, who in the script is a bit of interesting character. Everyone say that Jonah on top of this character was something surreal, and his power of improvisation made all the difference for the film. But Jonah Hill wasn't the only hit in the film's casting. Margot Robbie will always be grateful to director Martin Scorsese for being chosen to play Duchess, and so are we. The film was written by Scorsese's old friend Terence Winter, who had the brilliant idea of writing the script with voiceovers. If you have no idea what a voiceover is, that's exactly what I am doing while I present this video. This was done so that we have the feeling of diving together with Jordan in his history. And the way Jordan Belfort wrote the book also helped a lot in the movie. He didn't write anything. Counting all his accomplishments includes the most ridiculous ones, and let's face it, if anyone knows how to direct a film with voiceovers, it is Martin Scorsese. One of the most interesting things about the film is that almost all the scenes were improvised. That's right, the script served as a guide that showed where they should go with the story, but almost all of the dialogue was done on the spot, and that happens more than you might think in Hollywood. But that's for another video. Leonardo DiCaprio said that it felt like being in a theater company. Everyone arrived every day and worked on the material with complete freedom. A great example was the scene with Matthew McConaughey. This scene is a great and it is actually an exercise that McConaughey does before entering the scene, and he reproduced it in the film. Now that DiCaprio is looking away, he's actually looking at Scorsese and thinking, do you see what I'm seeing? And it's good that they continued the scene because the gesture became a hallmark of the film. Scorsese gave all the actors complete freedom to create on the set. All they had to do was start from the starting point and finish at the finish line, and that yielded an enormous amount of material. But one of the best things about the film was not improvised. Jordan Belfort speeches. DiCaprio, who is an extremely experienced actor, got sick before filming one of them for the first time, and they had to postpone the recordings for him to be able to do the speeches. But he did it very well. The film is extremely controversial, made with absurd mastery by everyone involved. Even though they were nominated for an Oscar, neither Scorsese, nor DiCaprio, nor Jonah Hill won the award. But no matter, the film is a milestone in the career of everyone involved. They wanted to show that reality as it is, without prejudging the actions of characters.
Do you call Spielberg and say, hey, what's your take on this?
Well, he came on the set the day we were shooting the
Yeah,
speeches.
that's right.
Yeah.
So he was there. He said came in to say hello, and he stayed the whole day and was helping me say, I think you should move the camera.
The microphone's blocking your face. Everyone who had to act that day was like, oh, Jesus Christ, Spielberg and Scorsese are watching.
The most important thing is to put people in the same world as these guys, who were people who had a lot of fun until the fun ended. We love the feeling of being able to follow these crazy things that film represents, because when it ends, we are free of all these consequences. And Scorsese believes we all have this dark side. If we had all the money and power in the world, maybe we could fall into madness just like the people in the movie. In addition to being fun, the film puts us in the midst of the sanity that life can be when you have no limits. But don't forget, in real life, consequences exist, and sooner or later they will knock on your door. As this was the first video on the channel, there were some mistakes by the edition team, but we are working to improve them. I hope you don't give up on us. LOL. If you liked the video, click on the like button and comment on your favorite scene from the movie. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. See you in the next video. Bye bye.